So we're gonna play our intro song, and we are back in 5, 4, 3. And we are back to expand your minds, to take you into wormholes and through different dimensions here on the Ryan Show FM. After this interview, you will not think the same. I had some deep revelations recently, some very dear friends in my life, one of which is sitting beside me here tonight. The great Ebony Stone has made me come to realize that my creation may not be as though I thought it was. I once thought that white Jesus created me, but I found out this year that it could have been another guy, a guy that has been talked about for years, but I wasn't aware of him. A guy with a big giant head and a cool looking beard, a villainous looking fella, an evil mad scientist named Yakub. And we have a couple of guests here to join Ebony and I to peel back the layers on all of the knowledge and history that's coming out about this topic. I was on Instagram, and as I like to call it, the white devil's algorithm, where I scroll and it's all types of wild stuff you'd never be able to predict. And sure enough, out comes Tasiim Diliza, who's written a book. This planet was stolen from black people. And just to intro Tasiim before we even bring him onto the show, what it says here is the description of his book. It says, the government lied to us. We finally have a book that teaches about black people's true origin. That is our textbook. This planet was stolen from black people. This textbook is for our children so they can learn who they are as the Anunnaki race. And they'll learn how black people are not humans and the government lied to us. So I saw this and thought immediately, we need to get Tasim on the show. So without further ado, we need to learn more of what the hell's really going on in the world. Welcome, Tasiim Diliza, to the Ryan Show FM. And of course, the lovely Ebony Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening, man? How are you tonight?
I am feeling on top of the world. What about yourself?
Hey, life is good, man. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out my origins here. And how are you tonight, Miss Stone?
I'm talking to the aliens. Wait a minute, I'm getting downloads. All right, that's how I'm feeling. How are you? I cannot wait to talk to you.
Well, thank you.
So just for the world, because they might not know the new world. So it's Tasim, right? Tasim. So the I is the E. Sounds
Tasim.
like make E sounds, right?
Yeah, like you
All
say in
right.
Spanish. You say Tasim. Tasim.
Tasim. I love it.
Yes. Is my
He
lighting
has
good? I feel
speak.
like my lighting messed up.
How your lighting gonna be messed up? Look at that; it's bouncing off.
And to
It
our
looks
radio
good.
audience, Tasim has a headdress on, the same headdress that can be seen on the cover of This Planet Was Stolen from Black People. Tasim, where is the inspiration from the headdress? Does it come from somewhere? What's the origin of it?
Oh no. I'll tell you the honest truth. If you ask any Black American, and you could ask anybody my age. So I'm 24. And you ask any 24-year-old, ask any 17-year-old Black child or adult or teenager, and you would ask him this question, you would say, "Did your grandma say that you you had Indian in the family? Is anybody in your family Indian?" And 99 out of 100 would say yes. If that is the case, where did the Indian go? Did it just disappeared out of nowhere? What happened?
Wow.
Because if you look at your grandma, she was Indian, right? But she was Black.
Mm.
How is she Indian and Black? Well, that means that somebody that was Black was the actual Indian, and somebody that was not Black was pretending to be an Indian.
Mm.
That is the real truth. My entire family is Cherokee, but I don't have any white people in my family. I don't have any Mexicans, Asians. No, just Black people. So how am I Black and Cherokee? Somebody's lying.
Somebody's lying.
Somebody is lying. They're lying to me.
Yeah.
Once I discovered that, I discovered, and it took a while, I discovered that they've been lying the whole time. Your Black people are the actual Indians. So that's where it comes from. This is our stuff. Right?
So essentially, what you're saying is that before white people were here, black people were here first as the Native Americans, and we're all being lied to.
Absolutely. Right? It has been a deception to believe that you move across the water and after 10,000 years, you're gonna change colors. That's ridiculous. Does that even make sense?
So,
Because that's what they taught us in school.
how about South America? Is it the
South
same thing
America,
in South America?
South America is the same exact thing. There's many black people over there who speak Spanish, right? They weren't brought from Africa like they taught us. They are the original people of that land. So those
And
black people in South
yeah.
America are the original people. Same with North America. Same
And
with
just for
Australia.
us that this is like a huge breakthrough realization for anybody that could even give this the time of day. A lot of people are going to hear something and say this is absolutely outrageous. Not only is it against anything we've ever learned, but where is the proof?
Mhm.
So are there some type of historic records? Like what exactly is it that everybody's going to? Because you're not the only person that believes this. There's a lot of people that believe this. Even when you ask ChatGPT,
Well,
it's a theory, a potential theory.
well, I don't mean to cut you. I know this question is directed to him. He's saying where are the proof? Well, this is what they're doing right now. They're using, and I don't know like the correct terms, so I'm just gonna say it like it is. So they're gonna use all of the white man's scales to determine the truth. So however you did it in science, that's how we're going to determine the truth. And if you guys created the science that you created, so you think, right?
Yeah.
We should get the same results, right?
Fair enough, I guess, right? Like,
Okay. So now when you go down to genetics and you start looking at the bloodline and you start actually tracing back in history the way how the Westerners
yeah.
taught you to do it, that's how you're going to find the truth.
So how about Native Americans that aren't necessarily black people? They just kind of look like Native Americans. They don't look like white people. They don't look like black people. They just kind of look like Native Americans. Like, has there been any backlash from that community?
Oh, absolutely. They come at me every day. Every day. They're in my comment section. This is indigenous erasure. I grew up
Wow.
around,
And so,
right? These people are Mexican.
what is there? What do they say? Like, so obviously they're upset. Like, why is it not? Why is it that everyone's being lied to? We get that America's lying to the people because that's their means of controlling them, is keeping them ignorant and blind, so that they can be under the thumb of their whatever it is they want to do. But why the Native Americans? Why is it that they're protesting as well when they also have a similar beef with America and the way that they rewrite history?
Absolutely. Protesting against who? Against me or against something else?
Yeah, yeah. Like, what is the Native? Why is it that the Native Americans have such a strong problem with this?
Oh, absolutely.
What do they
Uh,
believe? What do they believe?
oh, so they believe that this is their land, and it's not. And if it was your land, how could you die from the sun? How could you get sun poisoning and somehow be original? Last time I checked, I don't die by the sun at all. No one in my family
So
dies
who
by.
put them here? Like,
Oh,
who
who?
put the Native American people here in the
Interest?
Americas?
Who put them here? Do you know who they work with? The
No,
Navajo.
please. We
That's what they're called. The Navajo Nation. They work directly hand to hand with the government. I have this specific agency. I don't know if I can say it, right?
Don't.
But they do work hand to hand. They're leaders. Their leaders are Asians and they come from Mongolia. I was actually doing research on this. I was doing deep research. And I'm like, hold up.
yeah.
These people who look like Native Americans, why do they look Asian? I was into their genealogy records. And I discovered that many of them come from Russia. This was in the early, it was in the early 1900s. No, mid 1900s, 1940s. Right? This specific document was in the 1940s of a Russian woman.
Mm-hmm.
20 years later in 1960, somehow she went from Russian to Native American.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that
Wow.
makes sense.
So I don't mean, let me interject here. One of the ways how they would do that is because the Europeans were able to pay $5 on census to say that they were Indians to collect land.
Oh, taking advantage of the system.
Right. And then, of course, you breeding them in. And then if you look at the genetics, Russians are usually big in stature. Right. I'm just.
I mean, it could be a thing, I guess, right? Like, I mean, I get the Mongolian part. Sometimes you look at Native Americans,
Chinese.
and they kind of do have like
All of them got
the
the eyes
Mongolian eyes.
like this.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. They kind of sometimes, especially out west, they kind of do. So you're saying is that the Native Americans are actually descendants of the Mongolians? Is it the same Mongolians that Genghis Khan led
Absolutely.
to world conquest? Does that kind of explain it?
Absolutely. Same with the modern day Mexicans. They are not the original Mexicans.
Okay.
They're also descendants of the Asians. Right? They look the
Okay.
exact
Well, this
same.
is a history
Mexicans
lesson.
and Americans, they don't look no different.
Yeah.
They're the same people. Right? One speaks Spanish and one speaks Chinese. That's the difference.
Mm.
That's it. But
That's
ain't
it.
no difference in the looks. There's no difference in the facial features. It's all the same.
Because the Indians in India don't look like Native Americans.
At all.
No.
No.
Red dot versus feather. This is a known difference. We've talked about it forever. That's how white people have determined the difference between the two. We're going to come back very soon. We've got sponsors here, and they might not feel the same way as us, but we want to peel the layers back and bend their minds. Tasiim Diliza is in studio, and he's written the book, This Planet Was Stolen from Black People. The government lied to you, and we're here to wake you up. We'll be back soon, folks. All right, it's a good time for a few minutes here. We'll come back and talk about this book. What do you say?
Yeah? I'm excited.
Let's go.
Can we talk about? Are we recording?
Yeah, but it's not. This isn't going to be on the show. This is in between segments right now. Whatever. This commercial's playing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get into the. All right, we're back in 5 4.
Laugh.
This planet was stolen from Black people. This textbook was written by our friend and guest here tonight, Tasiim Diliza, and he's going to tell us all about this revolutionary new piece of history. He's rewriting. I want to say he's rewriting. Is he clearing things up? Some would say history is whitewashed. I need to know, Tasiim, what was it that inspired you to write this book?
What inspired me? I'll tell you the truth. I grew up around humans my whole life. Right? So I was born in Georgia. I was born in Decatur, Georgia. But when I was 1 year old, my mom, she moved our entire family to California. So I went from California for 14 years, and I lived around Mexicans. And they used to always say, hey, why is your hair like that? Can I touch it? And I was like, well, why do you want to touch my hair? If we was all the same species, why is my hair different? And why is your hair straight? Like a dog. Our hair is totally... Why? I thought we was the same species. Right?
Right.
So what inspired me?
Yeah, it is kind of...
around them, they did. They started being racist towards me. They started saying things like, oh, that's why your family was from Africa. They were slaves. And I've never heard that before. My first time hearing that was when I was 9 years old in the 4th grade. Never ever heard that before that. Right? So what's the purpose? Well, it's time to get revenge. Somebody got to get.
So what is that?
Can you repeat that?
So what is revenge at this point?
Oh, what is revenge?
I feel like this is like not necessarily revenge. I feel like this is almost like retribution.
Oh, absolutely.
It seems almost like if you're just stating the way you think that things were, it's not like you're out here committing revenge with some type of bloodlust. You're just trying to right a wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he is committing revenge if he's correcting the narrative.
I guess it is in a way.
Because if the winner wants you to think that they won and they really lost, this is revenge. You know, don't you think? So tell me more about the book. How was it stolen? Because I believe you. I know it was.
Well, you and I both know, if you look at anybody with a brown skin complexion, and I'm going to tell you something today. Mm-hmm. When you look at my hand, this is the color brown, okay? But we have been taught that the color peach is the color brown. That is ridiculous. Your Mexicans and Native Americans are the color peach and not brown. So that means that they are delusional. They're a bunch of delusional idiots, every single one of them. When you look at them, you look at your skin. It's peach, obviously. It's not brown. We need to stop lying,
Yeah.
right? So what is the book about? Or was that the question about what is the book about?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So the book, when you look at me, yes, we are the color brown. When you look at the peach with straight hair, they're the color peach with straight hair. All right? We're two different species. And the way that we know that is because we can't even eat the same food at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you eat the same food as which they are, you're Mexicans, Native Americans, Caucasians, Asians, Indians, they are the human race, right? We are not the human race. We are the Anunnaki race. And what is the
So then, how can white people and black people make babies?
oh, great question. If you have a intercourse with a Caucasian and you're a black male, and that woman goes to the hospital, the doctor's going to tell her that she's going to have to get a Rogam shot in order for the baby to survive. Without that shot, the baby will die. And the reason why is because the baby's not supposed to be here anyways. So they have created a scientific method in order to force the baby to come onto this planet and have a interracial baby. What is the definition of race? Right? Race means the planet from which one comes from. That's what it means. If you look at a movie and you would say those people are from the Saiyan race because they come from that planet. Same thing over here, right? How do we just think about it? I don't die from the sun, but the Mexicans do, right? The Arabs do. How come we don't? That means that you come from a different planet and you've been lying and you've been staying here the whole time. That's what it means.
Now, if
And
an Asian,
they also die from the sun.
if an Asian person and a white person, is it a different race? Like you say, different species, right, or different, planets? Are
Uh,
Asians and Mexicans, as you'd call them, and
uh,
whites all from different planets?
you are all from the same planet. And the way that you know that you're all from the same planet is because you all have the same hair. Same exact hair. You do not need a Rogam shot in order to interbreed with each other. Only the Anunnaki do. We're the only ones, right? So, about your human race, there are 5 different mock-ups or 5 different types of humans. 5 different ranking systems. The highest of the ranking system is the Caucasian. This is why they are succeeding more than you could say, Native American. So the Native American, they are a lower ranking human. That's the difference. But you're all the same species, the humans. We're not.
Is
Does
there
it?
a ranking within the Anunnaki? Like, is there like the blacker, darker the berry, sweeter the juice? Like, how does it work?
Oh, absolutely.
Or
There
is there a
are
caste system?
there are different rankings in the Anunnaki races as well, right? When you look at the most advanced civilizations, and it's not hard to find this out. All you have to do is look up buildings from the 1700s, or uh, you could look up the Columbian Exposition, right? You would find Chicago, Illinois. These buildings are thousands of years old, and the black people built them over here. They've been lying already. They've been lying. They've been making it believe that we was all brought over here. That's a lie, right? So there are different rankings within our species, and this is why the American blacks, we have known this, have always been the most advanced technologically. And then you would look at we can say the pygmy group in Africa, those Anunnaki over there, they're not as high ranking as us, right? That is because
Mm,
we all have the same DNA, but there are different parts of it, different bloodlines in our
got it.
species. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make a little bit more sense?
It makes sense, I guess. Like, so essentially, you're saying like the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka are the lowest of the caste system,
Absolutely.
whereas like the giants of Kenya are the highest, or wherever it is that.
I I I think he's basically saying like within the Anunnaki there are a couple hundred different gods, right? And each god is responsible for a set of people. So say this God is responsible for the African Americans.
Mhm.
This one is responsible for the pygmies, or the Bantus, or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
All right.
So you tend to see that these group of people have the same characteristics as their God.
Oh, so it's about.
But
Got it.
listen, the Anunnakis, they coexist as one energy, which is still one God,
Okay.
because they basically they vibrate so high that they're able to like connect as one. So you might think like you're praying to this God, and you think that you're praying to this God, so you're right and you're wrong, and but you're all just like praying to like one central God, as Anunnakians, like as black people, right? I'm sorry. I'm I'm
Ask-
sorry. Are you
Well, the idea of a God above us is a lie. We never had that ever. That is
mhm.
that is a human-made terminology. We never had a above God. There's nobody more powerful than me on this planet, ever. Right? We
Like
do
the
No.
have
who?
we have an elected leader, but there's nothing above us. We are the highest and the most supreme, right? But
Mm.
we have a king who's responsible, but not a god, because we're all deities.
Who
All of
created the Anunnaki?
we created ourselves. There is nothing that has ever created us. We are the first in all of existence, right? That's what we do know. There has to be something that was first, and that thing that was first was us. There was no invisible God in the sky manifesting people, right? It was us. We formed
Right.
ourselves with energy, and then we created everything else. Now that's
So I
something that
noticed that you were gaining some traction, Tassim. You were gaining some traction on Instagram, and some people were gravitating towards the page. And there were some people leaving positive comments. There were some people, like anything else, making jokes and trashing whatever it is you put out there. But there were some people that really believe. So, what has the overall reception been? And have you been able to build a following of people that really believe what you're saying? After all, we started a conversation. I don't know if we said it on the show, but you essentially let us know that you were the leader of black people.
oh, absolutely. Somebody got to be a leader. Somebody has to be
I
the
know
leader.
that's right.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
know that's right. Step up and
If
take
I
it.
don't do it, who's gonna do
No,
it?
I,
I'm
I
gonna do
got
it.
I have a question. I have a question. So as far as like black Israelites and like the 12 tribes of Israel, and like who's the original Jews and things like that, do you have any knowledge of that? Is that in your book any?
No, no, we don't talk about that in the book. That is uh, it's not even important. You know, you still feel like you're a slave when you look at that information. I don't teach nothing
Hmm.
about slave ever. That's
So it's
ridiculous.
strictly so
Hmm.
it's strictly about, because when you say like the planet was stolen from like black people, like it's broad. It's like the planet.
The entire
But
planet.
like I see more that you're more focused on like America, how it was stolen from the Indians. So I wanted to know like how broad is it? Like what other
Wow,
things did you
good
touch
question.
on?
The book doesn't talk anything or mention anything about America or Indians at all.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Tell
That's just
me.
what the
Come
video.
on.
I think
It
it's
don't,
just that he's rocking the headdress, so we got confused.
Tell me, come on. Give me the
oh,
juice. Give me some
oh yeah.
juice.
Come on, you gotta wear it, right? It's the only way they're gonna.
Right.
They will not respect you
Wait,
if
so
I.
did black people originally come from Africa or America? Where were they first?
Your Anunnaki,
Everywhere. You
your
not
Anunnaki,
listening.
right? So,
So
like I
they
said,
were everywhere. Okay,
Yes.
even in
we don't
Europe.
have.
So
Okay, so
so
I brought this up. We don't have a creator because we created ourselves. That means that we
so
also create. This is what the book
so
talks.
before white people, Asian people, and brown people, or whatever you'd call them, Hispanic people, I guess is what white people call them.
The
There
human.
was Anunnakis everywhere, black people all over the planet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're not the same
Wow.
species. We didn't change colors. We didn't turn Chinese. None of that. It's
So
ridiculous.
we're gonna come full circle here. I started this conversation off talking about being created by Yakub. When did white people, Asian people, and all these other created races come about?
When did you come about or come on this planet?
When were we created?
When were you created? Okay, so all of you come from a galaxy called the Plutonian galaxy. Every single one of you, right? Every single one of you. You're not from the Milky Way. If
They're
you
the
were from the Milky
Plutonian.
Way, the sun would not give you sun poisoning. Right? That's basic common sense. If I'm natural to a planet, it would not kill me. That's come on. You use your. You could ask a kindergartner that, and you would ask
So then
kindergartner.
how come you can? So then how come you can't breathe underwater?
I'm not a fish. But can you breathe underwater? Right? You can't breathe underwater either. So my natural habitat is not the water; it's actually the land. But if you stand on the
Yeah.
land, every single human, they die. I lived in California. I seen the grandmas walking outside with an umbrella. They're like in the summertime. I'm like, what is this? What's going on? I ain't never seen nobody with an umbrella in the summertime. It's not
I mean, I
natural.
guess it could. So that being said, we're in trouble then, folks. Like, is there a ticking time bomb here for us whites, Asians, and brown people out there before the Anunnaki take back what's theirs? I mean, what is the end game for you as the leader, knowing all of these things?
Oh, they're gonna have to go. There's no negotiation. If you ask one of our women, they might say, "Yeah, we can negotiate," but I'm a man. So, but yeah,
Okay, well, at least you're being outright about it. We were talking earlier in this night's show about the comparisons between Hitler and Trump, right? You don't plan on any type of mass genocide. What's your game plan of getting rid of the whites, the Asians, and the Hispanics?
Is that what white people are scared of?
I'm not scared. It's inevitable.
they're afraid of one masculine male who's gonna take them all out. Right? That's why they try to make
Is that Jesus?
our men demasculated. Right? It's not natural
Huh?
to be a male wearing nails. That's not natural. Right?
Mm.
But when we're masculine, you have this energy that I have. You have energy and you have revenge. That's what you do have. That is what they do feel.
Right.
That's why they're not gonna see them going
I
into
get it. Like, look, the amount of atrocities that white people have committed, I get it. I couldn't even. I just sit here and be like, oh, I guess that's karma. What can I say? I get it, Tassim. It's a long
I'm like,
time coming.
what's it saying? You reap as you sow, so shall you reap.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna get what's coming to you.
You know.
That's it. I'm just hanging and waiting. She better not sit too close to me at this point.
Oh God.
Oh, we're not gonna lie. I'm not lying.
Man. Well, everybody really needs to go check out this book. This Planet Was Stolen from Black People. You heard it here first. You may have seen him on the algorithm or in the feed on Instagram, but Tasiim Diliza definitely needs to be contacted via his website, thisplanetwasstolen.com. There's a way to contact him right there, or just go to Instagram, follow him, Tasiim Diliza. And is there anywhere else that you'd like us to send our audience to, Tasiim, or any departing words for the audience?
Well, just real quick before I go, because I wanted to do a quick breakdown. Okay, very very short.
Yeah.
The basic premise is we are two different species. We're not the same. I am now. I only eat fruits, vegetables. I don't eat animals, right? Because it kills me, right? You ever wonder why we're so athletic? Just think about it. Why are your Anunnaki so athletic? That's because we're different species. That's the answer.
What do you
Right?
eat?
What do I eat? I eat
Yeah,
We
rice.
always want to know the secret.
I know.
Don't
I have to know.
say it.
What is it
Say,
you eat
look,
if you're
what
not
do
eating
you eat?
food or
Don't
drinking
tell
water?
her. Don't.
Tomatoes.
A lot of people listening. It's like I'm joking.
No, for real.
There's a lot
I
of
got
things that aren't considered food that we eat. Twinkies. There's certain things that are just made of God knows what. What is it you're eating?
I eat things with electrolytes, mangoes. You know what I'm saying? I be cooking. I
Alright.
eat without meat. I got the peppers. I be chopping them up. The onions. You know what I'm saying? Got the tomato sauce, and I
Oh,
be
yeah.
killing it. All my seasonings.
I love
Right.
it.
Surprises
There you
me.
go.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
all.
We're
Oh,
not gonna.
man. Yeah, well, as we keep discovering more truths about this situation, we're going to keep having you back on, hopefully, Tasim, because there's a lot to talk about. And Ebony, while we have you here,
Definitely.
any other last questions? Because you know this is your lane
You
here.
know, I love him. It's my guy. All right, so this is what I got one more question to ask you.
Okay.
If if you had one white person to save on this planet, who would it be and why? At the end day, you know, the last day when it's over.
Yeah,
Good question.
I'm not saving any of them. I'm gonna have to send them back to their home planet.
Pull
Yeah. You do
up.
As
have
long
a
as
home.
I'm not the first to go, as long as I can watch them all perish, I'll be here cheering until I'm the
I
last
cannot.
man
I love.
standing.
You have a home
Oh
planet.
Lord, have
So,
mercy.
so I said you come from the Plutonian galaxy. In this galaxy, there's a planet called Nirn. Nirn. This is a planet that all of your humans were created on. This planet does not have any sun, right? So it's very, very cold. You can survive on there. You just can't survive on this planet
Mhm.
because the sun is, is cooking you. So yeah, we're gonna send you
Just put
back.
us somewhere better, man. That's all I ask. Like, if you could put us on Pluto, Pluto seems to be kind of chill.
It seems like their gods put you at all the cold places, all the Europeans. Think
Yeah.
about it. It kind of makes sense what he said, right? Because most Europeans come from like cold places, right?
Yeah, that place is not naturally cold. The place is naturally hot. Europe is naturally hot, Antarctica.
Ah,
All of these places, the whole planet is a natural tropical planet. They even changed the name of our planet. It doesn't even
oh,
call it
Damn. It
wow.
really,
It's going deep.
right.
man. I
Wow.
don't even want to end this now. All right, we're gonna go to a quick break from our sponsors. Come back and just ask a few more questions because things are getting good, and we've got all the time in the world. This is a 4-hour show. Don't go anywhere. The Ryan Show FM is broadcasting live in Boston, Miami, and all over the country. Tasiim Diliza is with us, and of course, the lovely Ebony Stone and Ryan Verneuille. And now, a word from our sponsors. We'll be back. All right, we're just getting to the good stuff here. We'll be back in 5.
We love
And
stuff.
we are back learning new things here on the Ryan Show FM about our creators. I learned tonight for sure that I'm not like them. I'm not like them. We got to make a whole new song about it at
Hmm.
this point. Actually, I'm more like the Asians and the Hispanics than I realized.
I
Yeah.
You kind of did say that to me. She kind of did say it to me. Wow. So, when was it that you realized this, Tassim? Was it? I think you got a little bit into it, but what was like that breakthrough moment when you
Mhm.
realized that this was reality and not the matrix that they've created for us?
Okay. I knew this when I was 16 years old. So now I'm 24. So that was 8 years ago. I knew that. That's when I knew. And then 2 years ago, that's when I started taking matters into my own hands, and I said, okay, if I know that we're two different species, well, what am I going to do about it? I'm not just going to talk all day. I'm going to do something about it. And the first idea was we're going to build a university. The second thing was an elementary school, right? And then I had to go work at one to figure out how to run a
yeah.
school. And then the third step was, all right, if I'm gonna have a school, then well, where are the textbooks at? And the Yamanaki, they were like, hey, you need to create a textbook. And that's what I did. Right. So that was 2 years ago. That's when I was like, oh, we got to do something about this. 2 years ago.
Now,
And
I heard Tanish, I heard years ago, 2 years ago, I had a conversation with Ebony, and she was telling me about the Anunnaki before I heard any of these Instagram reels or TikTok reels years and years before. Why is it that right now everybody seems to be aware of this and it's in the mainstream media? All the kids are talking about it. What has changed, and why are people accepting this now?
it has changed because there are a few people who are talking about it, and they are the millennial generation, and they are passing it on to my generation, which is Generation Z. And we're talking about it because we're the ones on TikTok, right? So the real reason why it's coming out all of a sudden is because we're finally talking about it. It wasn't just an accident. We could say it's the consciousness of the
I
planet.
wasn't sure if there was something bigger. I mean, we see these drones in the sky. We
I
hear these reports of the UFOs and the UFAs, whatever the hell they're called now. So I wasn't sure if maybe there was something happening.
Can I interject? Can I interject, fellas? So
Absolutely.
I didn't have it wasn't none of that for me. I actually had a dream where I didn't even know what an Anunnaki was. I was just describing these beings that I seen on this spaceship and the things that they were doing once they got here. And I even seen the church, and I saw a lot. And it wasn't about anything that I heard on TikTok. So I just feel like they were contacting certain people and awakening certain people. Like you said, 2 years ago, they spoke to you 2 years ago, right? And told you to write a book, right?
And they're not
Right.
aliens
Probably
at
wasn't
all.
an order. Huh?
Anunnaki are not aliens. Your real aliens are the humans, right? So those are the real aliens. Anunnaki, which is us, we are the natural people to the planet.
Right.
Created it. So we not the aliens. It's the humans. Every
Right.
single planet is an alien.
Right.
Right?
So people are getting downloads all over right now. That's what I think. I think the Anunnaki race is just waking up. They're getting downloads like whatever your strength is, whatever your gift is, like I think it's all getting sharpened, and they wouldn't wake you up before because it was too dangerous, you know?
Mm.
So now it's a safe time for everybody to wake up.
That's a good point because there's no now it's at a point where people have the not have the means to even learn it. Like
The
Anunnaki,
means,
yeah, like cell phones. Now we have freedom to learn whatever we want.
but our learning comes from oral history, not textbooks.
Mm,
You
I see.
know?
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like
we had
I just
textbooks.
feel like we were taught to not talk about certain stuff because you would get killed or hurt. Somebody would think you're
Yes,
crazy,
definitely true.
you
Exactly.
know? So
Yeah, there's a lot crazier conspiracies and or theories out there. So, hey, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. I've always felt different. I've always felt like an alien to this planet. Sometimes I look out and gaze at the stars and think to myself, damn, there could be more. So where is
more of
plutonium?
you.
The
There
Plutonian Galaxy.
could be more.
The Plutonian Galaxy.
Yeah, the plutonium
So
galaxy. How can I
we're
get back there?
located inside of the sixth universe. So, and it's not even hard. We have a multiverse. Okay, a multiverse. What does that mean? That means that there are universes inside of this giant thing. The Anunnaki, yes, we created the entire thing, the whole multiverse. Now, inside of the multiverse, there are 12 universes. 12 universes. This universe that we live in is called the ninth universe. This is where you have the Milky Way galaxy on this planet that is not called Earth, but it is called Kai, right? Kai or Ki. Ki meaning the second home of the Anunnaki. That's just how we know that we're not aliens. We named the planet after ourselves. So, where is the Plutonian galaxy at? That is inside of the sixth universe, right? So,
Where did you
that
learn this, Tassim?
Because it's safe to say that.
Because like this is again, see, like I get the whole concept of it because it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. I've been force feeding my son Dragon Ball. So I've kind
yes,
of caught up on the whole multiverse concept, right? Is it kind of similar?
kind of
It
similar
is.
on.
Okay.
That's where they created
Yes,
it from.
yes.
Okay, so that's where they created from. So this knowledge can be learned more about where. So we have your textbook. This planet was stolen from black people. Does this have all of this? They can read all the above inside of this textbook
Absolutely.
and learn from scratch as
You
to.
want to get
Your
references?
species inside of my book, This Planet Was Stolen from Black People. Everything about you is inside of my book. And also the humans are mentioned in the book as well. Right? So it's there. And
Awesome.
where do we learn this from? Well, the humans have lied to us and made us believe that we have to go to somebody else to get some information. It's ridiculous. Right? We created the information. So if I created it, how are you going to tell me that I cannot access it within my DNA? You must be out of your mind.
Exactly.
So
right?
so if we're from Pluto, this other galaxy, then Yakub did not create white people,
He
is what
did.
you're saying.
He didn't create you here. He created you over there.
Why did he create white people?
Why did he create white people? Because you are his creation. There are
No, but
Anunnaki that,
why?
and I answer. There
Why
are
did
Anunnaki.
he create a whole race of people that's just going to go around and cause all this havoc?
Oh no, no, you're not even the main ones in charge, right? So you're not even the main ones of the invasion. The whole story is watered down. Okay, you actually have
Okay.
who's in power because the white people aren't even in power, right? But you are still on their side.
So Yakub created all of these different.
Wait a minute. So the white people aren't in power. So who's in
Not at
power?
all.
The Jews? I mean,
The power are your
the
Pleiadian. This
The Pleiadians are in power.
yes, your Pleiadian
Oh,
species.
the blue people. They're blue, aren't they?
No, they're not. They are orange and gold. Your Pleiadian is Donald Trump. He's a Pleiadian.
Orange and
Like
gold.
Donald Trump.
Like
This is
Donald.
why his skin color or complexion is different than yours because he is the Pleiadian race.
Oh,
He
So
is
it's
a
not
more advanced.
vast amounts of makeup.
This is also in the book. Everything that I'm saying is in the book. He is a Pleiadian, and
Bomba
he
cleat.
All right,
You know, see a tuna man I tell. Ooh.
we
You know, let me tell you. Because the Simpsons always predict everything, and
always.
they are the color of gold and orange, like the Pleiadians. And that's how
Wow.
Trump, and that's why they knew where Trump was going to be standing with the ball, with the Indian man, with the lady behind. Makes sense.
I buy it.
I believe you.
I believe it too. I definitely don't feel like a human. Yakub, thank you. Thank you, Yakub,
Did you just
for this episode of the Ryan Show. Dead
and
ass. Look, if
yo
I don't have the same guys as you
wash
guys.
your hands? How you did that?
if you want to,
'Cause
you
that
want me to answer
kind
Did I
the
of
almost
question?
get you?
no, it did
Yeah,
like this.
Did I do
I'll answer
that?
the question.
Just
Y'all,
don't.
y'all,
No. Yeah. The last thing we need is a meme of me pulling the Elon Musk. Jesus.
The Elon Musk.
This
Is that how
planet.
you're gonna reinvent it? Is that
Yeah,
how you
that's.
repackaged it
He's
and
gonna grow a
rebranded it?
mustache too. They're gonna call it the Elon Musk when he grows that whole thing. This planet was stolen from black people. I knew it this whole time. I've been talking about it on this show, but now we can put it into words. Literally, go order this textbook. It's only $10 right now. I don't know what that is in Anunnaki, but I'm sure it's affordable. The government lied to us, and you need to know the truth. My man Tasiim can be followed on Instagram at Tasiim Diliza, and of course, the beautiful and elegant Miss Ebony Stone can be followed at Ebony
Hey.
Stone 303. New song Trump Effect is out now on all platforms. We're going to go to a quick break and be back after that. And now, a word from our sponsors.